So if somebody is there with me, can you say hi? I hear you, Sala. I see you. And I would love to know also who is on live with me. Let's bear with the little technical moments. Ah, yep. Great, Kim. I see Helen, Sue. Oh, so excited. Thank you for being here. Wow, this is our day one. Whew, I have, again, my feet on on the ground, and I'm ready. I'm inviting all of you who are now spending this hour or so with me, or if you are watching this from replay, to be ready and to be open and willing, to be relaxed, to be focused, to be creative, and to be rooted to yourself as you are, where you are in this moment with your own growth journey and with your own transformation journey, and really coming present with this moment that we have here. These 5 days manifestation alchemy experience is for those of you who are ready to embark on a journey, who maybe already have a journey behind you, and you are ready to go for it, to give it a chance, and to give yourself a chance to maybe up level, whatever that means, or inspire from inside out yourself, maybe freshen up, maybe return, reconnect, whatever the motive for you for this week is. And I do encourage all of you to kind of reflect on that, like what this could be for you. What's your why you would do this, why you would spend these days with me, why you are interested, for example, about manifestation, why you are now getting into a process of deep listening of your own desires and dreams, whether they are personal or professional, and getting clear of what's your motivation from inside out. And I love that you are here. I can't see the chat all the time, but I will come back to it every once in a while. If there's any, well, maybe I need to check just in case. Awesome, Johanna is also here. If something technical happens, if somehow Zoom flips and something else happens, let's trust that that's in a divine order. And then I will come back when I realize it's. But I will come back to the comments every once in a while. I just don't want to go there all the time, because then I might get distracted and all that. But really, these 5 days are for you to feel empowered and inspired about your journey and about those dreams, like really awaken and reconnecting to those dreams that you have maybe behind your heart, or they've been there for a while. Maybe they have been kind of with you for a long time or short time. That doesn't really matter. Like, if you feel that they are present now in this moment, then they are meant to be with this experience that we go together. And to take kind of honest inventory towards yourself, like, what are your thoughts around those dreams? What are your feelings around your desires, and what are your vibrations in your day-to-day life when you are maneuvering your life around towards where you want to go with your life, and really, like, maybe there will be some shift in beliefs, which is amazing, which is sometimes a little bit tricky, but definitely I will be there to support. And I just wanted you to know that whatever I'm sharing here, I'm doing myself. So I can stand behind it, because it is in my own practice, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect with anything. And that's something that I'm out learning a lot, because I have that little perfectionist in me. But I'm kind of like really inviting for you to be in a process, and to be authentic, and to be open to see yourself differently and your dreams differently with these 5 days that we go through. And And as I said, maybe you have been on a transformation road for a while. Maybe it's really present in your days now, and maybe you're working towards something. Then this 5 days will be really great boost 10 to nurture that new way of creation, a new way of creating. And there might be that you have leaped forward, you have lived a little bit back, or you have felt that you have stayed still or even stuck or stagnant with something in your life. And I do acknowledge those moments. They are really tricky, but they are part of the process. And the process is always like taking steps front, back, side, back to the middle, staying still. This all is part of the process. And I believe that each step on the way is, there is a meaning for each step. There is a purpose behind each step you take. And everything you have done before this is the base work for example, for manifestations too. And basically what we are doing here as a community, collective, heart-led yogis or non-yogis, however you want to call yourself, is that we are getting back up. We are getting back on track. It's like, okay, let's do it. I will give you something. I hope we reflect back, and it will be like an inspirational and creative process between us. And I'm really honored to be in your presence. Like I said yesterday, it's really, this is my manifestation coming through, because I think I first thought about this kind of free training that I could just concentrate on building a community about 4 years ago. And there was a lot of things on the way, a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of uncomfortable feelings for me to come here in a Facebook Live and be myself, and kind of like, I needed to go through that process first to be able to be here and stand on my 2 feet and say like, okay, I will talk about what I love and be open to share about my own experiences too and what works. And that's how it is sometimes. We put the seed to the ground and then we watch how it grows. But if we are too impatient and we want to dig the seed and see if it made a root already, the seed might not grow. So that's why, like, when you are putting the seed on the ground, you're watering it, you give attention and love to it, it will grow, because it knows, every seed knows how to become a tree. And that's why I this one I learned from my NLP trainings, like every seed knows already how to become that. And if the dream of yours is now the seed within you, you put it into your heart and you water it, you give attention and create intention around it, it will know how to come true and it will manifest in your life. I have a little frozen moment with the screen. I hope all is great. Okay. This 5 days is about freedom. Freedom is one of the value for me, like really strong value. It comes from the yoga practice. It comes from that like lineage, and there is a deeper meaning in that freedom. It is also freedom within, or also it's starts from the freedom within, to be who you are, to be as you are, where you are, and the freedom to be vulnerable with what is present. But it is also the direction that that the road is kind of going. It's like we are going towards deeper absorption of freedom within us and deeper experience of freedom in our lives, and to feel that kind of inspiration and relaxation and structure and frames and routines, like the yin and yang, the masculine and feminine in our day-to-day life when we are reaching, for example, towards our goals. And this is what I want to talk about today, the balance between action and surrendering, for example. But before we go, welcome to a journey. This is a journey to you, through you, with you, to you. That's a definition about yoga in Bhagavad Gita. And here we go. My invitation for all of us is that we take 3 breaths in each time we come here. Even there was a little intro now. And when you do this, you can put your feet on the ground if you're sitting down somewhere, or if you have kind of sofa position, you can just lengthen up your spine and really visualize your spine rooting down. But if your feet are on the ground, root down your feet, like really getting grounded with the Mother Earth, the energy that is always holding us, supporting us, and nurturing our roots. And you can keep your eyes open or closed or turn to focus a little bit down, and exhale. Simply through the nose, through the mouth, letting go of that breath. And then inhaling the new air in. The inspiration to change. And on the top of the breath, let it come down, exhale. And it surfaces down like a wave. All the way to the roots again. And then an inhale through your spine. Maybe reaching the head a little bit higher. You can close your eyes and exhale. And again, this wave-like ocean movement with your breath. And one more time on your own. And before going anywhere from that 3 breath practice, keep your eyes closed. Return to your natural daily life breathing. And hold a space for you, for the integration, for reflection. Just noticing the feeling of those breaths, the feeling of those roots. And if any words enters now into your mind, I invite you to take a pen and paper and write it down. You can also write it down to our chat. Any word of intention. Often the intentional words comes from the mind beyond the mind, kind of the inner guidance mind. So something just pops out into your mind, and that's the intention. It might be one word, or it might be affirmation. It might be something that you really needed to remind yourself in this moment, or you have been maybe meditating for a while already, and now it reaffirm itself. So tell me how you are. Let me go to the comments for a while just to see how you're feeling. Are you ready? Hear you fine. Great. Let's get going. I am here to serve. I am here to serve. It is my greatest honor to be in this moment with you. I get emotional, but I kind of want to refrain from crying already now. I'm a crybaby girl. I tend to get emotional easily. Let's get going. Today, I want to talk to you about myths of manifestation. So something that is maybe more in a mainstream, something that we often think that this is the manifestation because so many people maybe think this way, so we think it too. And all the things that I see in a mainstream about manifestation are great. It's like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that might work. But somehow there is something that I don't really, I cannot really grasp. It's like, it's for me, it's not tangible. And then there is a feeling that maybe it is not aligned with, for example, what I think. And some of the things that I do hear a lot about manifestation, it is a law of attraction. So we attract what we put out there, and that's great. Or it is a repetition, which might be coming when I was even Googling about different manifestation techniques, because I was curious, like, okay, what's there? There is like techniques that you write 44 times something for 4 days and then it will come, or you do 7 you write down 7 dreams, create 7 intentions around it, and 7 days it will come. It's like, okay, that's great. I might do that, but I'm not sure if it's really manifests it still. And this is based on how I think about doing and being. And this is what I want to talk to you today first. So many times what I see in the mainstream manifestation is doing, is an action. You do this and this will happen. You think like this and it will come. This is like Oprah said, if you think it, it will come. Or you are attracting something and it will come. So everything is based on doing. And in my understanding, we can do certain stuff and that's great. But if we are not feeling, if we are not really being, for example, open or willing to see the change, it will not happen. It will not come true because there is a misalignment from being and feeling to what I'm actually doing and what's my action. So it might be that I do a lot of stuff, but I'm not really feeling to be behind it. I'm not open for it. I'm not really, maybe the openness is the best word. There will be a misalignment. And when there is a misalignment, how I understand, universe works like, okay, that's interesting, let's pause. And it's not about that universe is never kind of giving us a lesson or tests us. I don't believe in that. Universe is curious, and universe is saying like, oh, well, there was something I couldn't understand. Let's pause. And that's what happens. And then how we often kind of see the pause that the universe is putting, for example, in between where we are now and where we want to be, is that, oh, it's not working. And then we give up trying. So that's why I believe that when we concentrate more on the be, we actually, whatever we are then do, will come in a line flow. And therefore we will have. So being, for example, or thinking positive, this is what I see in the mainstream a lot, like manifestation, think positive. And it seems to be the headline of the stories, which is great. We all understand the power of positivity, of course, but it is always not that black and white for me. And that's why I want to talk about manifestation alchemy. Because what happened to me, for example, and I was kind of meditating, do I want to share this in the first day, in the first 20 minutes? Because it's a deep story and it's one of my vulnerable manifestation stories. But I was like, well, I might just go for it because it came to my guidance. So one of my biggest manifestation, and this I will share for the inspiration and also for you to reflect what is your, for example, already manifested stories that you have in your life. One of mine was that when I was 28, I was looking to myself from the mirror and didn't know who is this woman who was looking back to me. I was in a very unbalanced relationship that I knew I needed to get out because I was losing myself. And the relationship ended up to be one of my biggest master teachers for all relationships. But in that moment, when I was looking to myself and I didn't recognize myself, I made a promise. And I made a promise to stand on my own side. It still gets me a little bit emotional. Don't want to cry in the first day. I promised to myself that whatever I do, doing, I will be by my own side. And that moment really changed my life. Not that I struggled anymore after that. Of course, I have had different learning curves. But from that moment on, I started to be vulnerable and open to stay on my own side. And that changed everything that I did. So the action, everything that I kind of achieved, everything that I learned, everything that was the verb part of the journey, that being vulnerable, being authentic, being willing to and open to be myself, because I was so spooked when I didn't recognize myself. It's like, oh my gosh, I never want to feel this anyway. Like, I want to be connected for the rest of my life to myself, which ended up to be a big learning curve for learning to be on my own side. And for a while, I pushed all the relationships away. And then I came to the point like, okay, I want to manifest, let's say now, the relationship in my life. That was my biggest manifestation story. And what happened was that even it was in my mind, like, okay, I'm ready, universe, bring me the dream man to my life. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I was trying to be very positive with it. I was trying to kind of see it and feel it, but I felt lonely. I felt sad. I felt disconnected to it. I felt that unworthiness. And that's why I started to think like, maybe it is not so much about positive thinking when manifestation. It really is about alchemizing what's there. And for me, it meant that I became aware. And this is the first step that I always teach, for example, in yoga teacher trainings or in my longer yoga off the mat courses online, that the first step is awareness, like becoming aware where you are in this moment, where you are and where you are going. Awareness of your thoughts, awareness of your feelings, awareness of your beliefs, awareness of your behavior, awareness of your actions, habits, routines, like basically just witnessing yourself. And that's very yoga too. Like what we do in yoga, actually, it is like just being aware what is happening in this moment, because yoga is always in this moment. And where that leads when we are practicing awareness is that it leads to the healing. So something that is not met becomes connected. And for me, for example, with that dream man manifestation, I started to heal myself and started to heal the belief that I had about him, or about love, about relationships, about various things, and the feelings that I had around that dream, because I had felt so kind of neglected and disappointed in my previous relationships. So the healing started to happen. And this is when we open up to a journey. And when the healing happens, the vision opens. And when the vision opens, it's just a matter of time when it kind of reaches the real life. So therefore, awareness, healing, and vision are always there. And I'm not saying that this is a linear practice, that when you do awareness once, that's it, you never need to do it again. Or when you do the healing once, that's it, I'm done, never need to do it again. No, it is more maybe circular practice that we go through. And when the awareness comes and we are open to see and open to observe, like, oh, well, that kind of thought comes into my mind, or, oh, that kind of belief, that's interesting. Well, that kind of feeling, I don't like it. Or that kind of behavior, well, that was out of something that I never done before. Maybe I behaved somehow unfamiliar even for myself. That's awareness. So we are looking to everything through the lenses of love and compassion. It's like, okay, I'm seeing that these things happened. And then comes the healing. And it happens naturally when there is willingness, when there is love, when there is that openness to see, hear, feel all the things. And then the vision opens. And when the vision opens, the awareness starts again. So it's maybe more like a circular practice. Let me just quickly go to the comments that I'm still here. Am I still here? If you are there, can you follow me? So what I saw a lot about manifestation in the mainstream was that it is hard practice. You need to do this. You need to be positive. You need to like to have that full on energy all the time to be able to manifest. And I was like, well, I'm not feeling that. It's like, I don't feel that. I feel more shy. I feel more vulnerable. I'm more like in myself. And that's why the alchemy was actually the word that really started to happen. That eventually took me to, for example, this manifestation of the man of the dream, who is now my partner for 5 years. But I believe that we are guided to step into a deeper journey. And that journey is the yogic journey, like seeing through us. Why I'm emotional again. Through us and with us, towards us in this lifetime. All right. Google says, now, you know what I was thinking? Like that, like when I show my emotions, it's like, I'm showing my emotions because I'm feeling that there is a big meaning for me to be here. And it makes me emotional in that sense. The Google is saying that manifestation is a conscious, continuous process of creation. And it's a demonstration, it's an explanation, it's an expression and indication. And bringing something tangible into your life through that attraction, which comes from the place of being, not doing, and to believe that you're willing, to believe that you're worthy, that you are capable of having what you want. One thing that always shifts my thinking is that if I feel inspired about something, if somebody has something that I want in my life, it means that I already have that within me. So this is what I share with you too. If you feel that somebody is doing what you want to do, or being what you want to be, or have what you want to have, it means that that is already inside of you. And then it is just a matter of time to create intention and give attention to that intention so that it can manifest through you into this life. You know, I have tattooed this life in my hand. It says the elämä, this life. So if I'm forgetting what life I'm living, I just check here. It was this life. We have this one life, you know. I think there was a saying like people have 2 lives and the second one starts when they realize they only have one. This is the life. So what I'm learning about manifestation, that there are 8 principles, and the 1 is visualize, 2 is believe that it's already yours. When you can visualize it, it's already yours. Feeling that it is yours. When I started to feel the man of my dreams, I started to visualize him and what we did how we spend our times with. I was writing about it. I saw it in my eyes. I was like, I felt how it feels to wake up. I felt how it feels to be in that presence, to share the meals, to share the life. And I knew exactly, I already felt that before he even came, that I know who he is. And when he actually then came, it was really quick what happened. You gotta want it, you gotta desire. Desire is gasoline for our dreams. So when we are desiring something in our lives, we put more gasoline into that desire. What I've noticed is that many times when I, for example, ask people, what do you want? They tell me what they don't want. And this is what I've heard in different conversations. And also Brené Brown is talking about this. I love her. People tell, for example, when they're like, well, what do you want? It's like, well, I don't want to have this kind of relationship, or I don't want to feel that, or I don't want to do that kind of work, or I don't want to spend my life like this. It's like, okay, that's great. Now you know what you don't want, but what do you want? And then actually to verbalize what I don't want is not so easy, because that requires some creativity and creative mind. We do need, we know what we don't want because we have experienced that. And that's why it's easy to explain. And sometimes we mismatch with the message because of that. We tell what we don't want when we actually mean to tell what we want. I hope this makes sense. And kind of like, okay, what do you want then? Professionally, for example, what do you want? If these are questions that are present for you, become very clear. What do you want? Not what you don't want. You know what you don't want anymore. It's there already. What do you want? And opening the eye. And that's why today's theme of today is awakening that inner magic, the inner magic, the connection that already knows what's best for you. That connection within you that knows exactly what's meant for you. And trust has that kind of trust on you to deliver, that it doesn't matter what kind of time frame it takes, it will come. And that's one thing, for example, about patience when manifesting stuff. Like, okay, we can be patient when we know that it's coming. We can wait without anxiety. But knowing what you want is essential when you are stepping into that kind of manifestation stories. Stretching our capacity to receive. And this is something that comes, for example, for myself over and over again, like stretching the capacity to receive, stretching the idea what is there to receive. Like whether it is, for example, about inner peace or about connection or patience, or it's more maybe something material, like, I don't know, new house, car, wealth, whatever it is, like stretching our capacity, our mind into receiving. And we think about in yoga, we do have this kind of crown in a head, and we visualize that last chakra, Sahasrara, to open, and it's like a diamond metal crown, not metal, diamond crown that is reaching the connections to the higher power. And often we think that the higher power is somewhere outside of us or in the universe, however you want to call it. But when you realize that actually it is inside of you, and that's comes through the yoga practice too, everything is already built in. It's in our DNA, the higher power, that higher knowing, inner connection, that manifestation power, creativity that you might sometimes need in order to manifest something to be real in your life. It's already within you. We say that there is a dormant energy in the base of the spine, which is cosmic, universal energy. and it's sleeping until we awaken it. And when we awaken it, it travels through our spine from the left, from the right, from the sun side, from the moon side, and through the center big Shushumna Nadi channels, and it travels through our heart. It heals our heart, it heals our throat, our words and vibrations, our speech towards ourselves and towards others, our ideas, our head, our kind of mind stuff. And then it reaches up to the universe, to the eternity, to beyond. But it's not starting from there to down. It starts from crown to up. And learning to awaken, you can already do that when you, for example, now squeeze your pelvic floor muscles. We say in yoga, it's Mula Bandha, you awaken that dormant energy, you start to tap into it so that it can grow tall through you. And you can have that universal energy to maneuver whatever you have in front of you in your life, whatever the change is, whatever the transformation is, whatever the manifestation is. You have the power within you already. Boom. I want to have a silent moment after that, because it's important to know. You don't need to become, you don't need to heal. It's already there. So everything you have ever experienced towards this moment, for example, wherever you are now in a journey of manifesting, for example, dream relationship, dream work, dream desire, whatever it is, all the work that you have done in your life until this moment is your base work. And becoming very clear what you want. So asking questions from yourself. What do I want? What do I really want? If I could have everything, what would I want? What would I, if there would be magically one day that I would come into my dream life, awaken into my dream life, what would it be? What would it feel? What would I hear? What kind of conversations I would have? What would I wear? What would I look like? What would I feel like? Like really getting into that movie of what would it be then? So one thing why we shy away from this kind of manifestation powers is that we are not clear what we want. And that's because we are so maybe inside our daily rhythms or schedules or inside of that loop that we are not really sure what we want, or we are not just clear. There's maybe too many options, or then there is limiting beliefs what's possible, which is very common. I think it's not well, it's like it's very common, especially when you are in transformational growth process, that the limiting beliefs comes into your mind. It's like, oh well, have you catch yourself thinking like it's possible for them but not for me, or it's easy for her to say but that's not easy for me. That change, growth requires some hard work, and I don't have patience for it. I don't have time for it. I don't have energy for it. I don't have money for it, or whatever it is. These are limiting beliefs. And when we are seeing those beliefs through the lenses of love, like, oh, curiosity, like, oh, well, that's interesting way to think. How is that supporting me? And if it's not supporting me, could I change? So when we come clear, when we clarify what we really want, the universe is like, oh, she knows what she wants. Let's get her into the program. My universe is always like from up, like pausing, and it's like, oh, girl, get clear what you want, then we will deliver. The other thing that is pausing us is that we believe that we are not worthy, that we don't deserve it, that we don't deserve the fullest expression of happiness, or we don't deserve the fullest expression of love, or we don't deserve the fullest expression of our passion job or work, or we don't deserve, we are not worthy, we are not enough, or something. Like, have you catch yourself thinking like, I'm not enough clear, I'm not enough patient, I don't have this, or I don't have that. These are limiting beliefs. So we can ask ourselves, is that really true? Like, or could I think about it that it is? I'm in a protest towards it. Or could you think also, I always say I because I'm trained like that. But like thinking about that, maybe I'm open for this. Maybe I am curious about this. Oh, well, that's new way to think. Let's see what that could be. Yeah. So the yogic science, I do want to tap into that because that's my playground, that we have 72,000 nadis, which are energetic channels within us. And those energetic channels are vibrating to everything we do, everything we say, everything we think. So everything has vibration. Everything we say to ourselves, what we think, what our beliefs are, what we feel, what our actions are, everything has vibration. And we have within us 72,000 energetic particles that are vibrating constantly with what we kind of reflect. And those energies are pathways, like they are connecting to each other and they make highways of energy within us. And when we start to connect to something that feels authentic, something that feels honest, real, something that feels really true, even it might be like a little bit shy or ashamed first, but we somehow feel it in our hearts, like this is mine. Like I said, if you think, if you are inspired about something, it's already yours. So if it moves your heart from inside, it's already yours. It belongs to you. So then it's just a matter of time when it comes out. And if we do believe in that, and we start to align our pathways, those energetic kind of nadis with that direction, and we give the connection. I always say there is two. There is a connection, and then there is a direction. If we are not connected, we cannot get into a direction. If we are not having clear direction, it doesn't matter how connected we are. We're not moving anywhere. So that's why when these two comes together, the magic happens. And that's why I do want to talk about that, kind of like giving yourself permission to be curious about what is your dream. Like, what do you desire from life? What is this life for you? Like, what would it mean that you would have everything you want in this life? What would it be? Not what it wouldn't be, what would it be? What's the direction? And start to create a connection. When we create a connection, we strengthen that. And if there is anything that is not aligned, then it just means that the healing work steps in, and there will be alchemy that helps you to maneuver that. For example, from disempowering belief towards empowering belief. Am I making sense? Let me go to the... Somebody is still with me. Is this interesting for you? Is this something that you feel guided to listen? I know Kim is here. Kim, I'm so happy that you're here. You know, it came to me that Pema Chodron, I love that name, is saying that nothing ever goes away until it teaches us what we need to learn. So if something is constantly coming from right and left, for example, for you, and it feels like, what is this life? Why I am facing, for example, this struggle all the time, or this resistance all the time, or this kind of limiting thinking all the time that I'm not worthy or I'm not capable, it is there to teach you a lesson. And when we are open to learn, when we are open to say like, okay, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I'm open to see this, and maybe even open to see this differently now, the magic happens. We get free. But yeah, everything is an energy, and everything has effect to our breath. So if you notice during your days, for example, that's why like yogic breathing techniques are great, to calm down our nervous system, to calm down our biochemical reactions inside, is to connect to our breath. Because if you think, when you get spooked, your breath changes. When you get excited, your breath changes. When you get tired, your breath changes. Everything has effect to our breath. Each emotion, each action, each even thought has an effect to our breath. So when we alchemize, for example, our presence through our breath, we take deeper breaths. We breathe actually during the day too much. We breathe shallow here in the heart center. When we could breathe to our belly, my invitation for all of you during this week is to breathe like a Buddha. Breathe that your belly gets relaxed and big, so that your breath goes more down. And what it takes then, that it takes that dormant cosmic energy and it awakens. Your breath can awaken that inner connection. And you start to invite it up. So breathing, if you notice that you're breathing a lot of here, maybe even here, sometimes the breath is in the head, take it down. Like just visualize, maybe put the palms there and visualize it to go into your belly, into your back, into your feet, into the ground. And you will start to notice the difference in your presence. Because manifestation is not about doing, it is about being. And when we are being connected, when we are being present, we can let go of what's to come in a way that we don't grasp it like I need that man in my life, I need that house in my life. Because in this moment, if we are present, if we are in that connection, we can trust that it's coming and we can wait without anxiety. These are huge practices, but I just want to put it out there. It's not linear, it's more circular. There is no really perfection or performance that comes to an end. It always starts again where it ends. So when you have done one thing, it evolves to another. And maybe you have seen this in your own life, like you come into one end of the road and another one starts immediately. Yeah, how the universe works, for example, with the manifestation. It works that it says, yes, that's a great idea, let's do that. Or it works like, hey, I have something better for you. And while the universe is kind of saying like, hey, I have something better for you, it might be that it feels for us like, okay, we are stuck. We are just stuck, like stagnant. But it just means that universe is waiting for us to be creative and get into a new alignment and learn to maneuver maybe differently, learn to relax more, learn to be more clear, clarify our what do we want, or learn to be present through our breath. Yeah. Why do we resist? Sometimes what I see, the manifestation, because the universe is always saying, yes, oh, I have something better for you. So it's up to us that we resist sometimes the change. And for me, that was really hard lesson to learn. And I'm still learning. It's like, I didn't graduate from this yet. But now I know that it's about practice. But why do we resist is that it requires some effort. It requires some effort to kind of rewire our thoughts and brains in a way, because our brains are structured that it is more safe to be in the familiar than learn new ways. That was an eye-opener for me. It's like, okay, for example, maybe I'm just so used to think that I cannot achieve that dream, because my brain likes to go that road more because that's more familiar. then to start to rewire, like, well, I'm open to learn, and I'm willing to go through the process, or I'm on my way. Like, this kind of preach sentences could be towards that new direction, towards new learning, towards being creative, whatever you are manifesting now in your own life. So it requires some effort, and it requires some repetition, because if we do it once, great, but can we do it again? If we trust ourselves once, great. Can we trust ourselves again? Can we think kindly again about ourselves? I know a lot of us are battling with that critical mind, and that's part of our nature. Like, we all have to. We have the critical side of us, the kind of the part of us that is always saying, like, no, this is not good enough, or this is not perfect, or this is not this and that. They are doing way better, and they are, like, the comparison starts from that critical mind. It's in our nature. We all have that. And I have one live here in a group that I was saying, like, let's befriend our critical mind, because it is so powerful part of our lives. And sometimes it's hidden, like we don't even recognize the beliefs and the thoughts and feeling it creates. Of course, we are human beings. So, like, the way to turn from the critical mind is to start to strengthen connection with your inner leader, with your inner teacher, with your inner guru, however you want to call it, with your inner connection, inner alchemist, with that part of you who knows exactly what's best for you, knows exactly what's good for you, what's the right decision, what's the right move, what's the right direction. And only you can know that. Nobody else can not know. And that's something that requires sometimes practice, like, okay. And it might require healing, because there might be something emotional or mental or intellectual that requires some new nurturement and alignment. For example, to feel lovable, or to feel worthy of what you desire. So we can create a practice around that. Basically, what we are doing here is in manifestation too, that we are turning from fear to love. Easy as that. Fear comes in a different forms. Definitely, worry is my number one fear in day-to-day life. Like, I go into the loops of worry. What could not happen, or what if this is not da 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 da? And it seems to feed itself. So when this happens, if this happens to you too, the first thing is just to be aware. It's like, oh wow, I was really in a worrisome mind. What could I do now to nurture that and come to the love, which could be maybe acceptance or practice of forgiveness for myself. Like, okay, I forgive that I was so worried for 15 minutes or 5 days or 5 weeks. I'm here now, and I want to change this. I want to see this differently. Now my dog wants to go out. Now. Yeah. So for a long time, it took me to kind of realize that it's not about, like, just being positive and being in a one direction, going through the wall, going through the resistance, because I know myself, I know you too, many of you are very strong females. You have come through big transformation. If there are moms here, you have birthed a child which is, like, I don't know, beyond. You're strong, and we can go through big transformations just by, putting our head towards it, and it's like, yeah, I will do this, but it might not be beneficial for our health, or for our connection, for our well-being. So might cost our peace, or it might cost our patience, or it might cost our sense of connection. And that's why I see that the alchemy is more softer. We do see what's there, what's the resistance, but we alchemize it. We are willing to go to a journey with it. And awakening that inner magic, my invitation for you is now to journal that. What is awakening in you in this moment? What is that magic within you that wants to come through? How do you connect to yourself? Who are you becoming? Let me get my dog out, okay. Ow. Okay. Oh, but be quiet, okay? Okay, I'm here. Journal what works for you in life. Like what really works for you, what feels good, what feels guided, what feels great. And if you want to bring awareness what doesn't, it's okay to write that too. So you start to realize like, okay, this is not working for me. I don't want that anymore. I want this instead. And what do you want and what do you need from life? What are your biggest desires? What are your dreams? Like really writing down that vision of you, whether it's a personal or professional, what is there, waiting for your attention and create intention around it to walk towards it. So if you feel like there is more life, or there is something in life more than what you have in this moment, the manifestation practices are definitely your thing. Relaxing and breathing with the process, stepping on a journey of lifetime, like release in that sense some of the time frames that we have for receiving, and refraining from perfecting or even avoiding these processes, because if they are calling your attention, it's there for transformation. So let me know now who is here. Kim is here. I know Kim is here. Makes sense to create. I'm happy to hear it. I would love this to be a little bit more maybe interactive, so I know where you are. But I do realize that now I'm in a Zoom and you're in a Facebook, so the juggle. So today's task, my task for you is this: journaling questions or writing. Write down about all this stuff that I told you. And let me share the screen so I show you, for example, this one. This is called 4 Pillars. This is our task today. It's a little bit small space now, but you can write down it bigger for you just with this kind of frame. Write down true now about what you desire and dream to manifest in yourself, in your life, in this life, through the connection that you have for yourself. Like, what do you desire to manifest within you? Maybe this is a more connection part. Like, what do you desire to manifest through your well-being? And then through the relationships that you have around you. So first towards yourself, and then towards the relationships that are around. And it might be that it is a relationship to another person or to something in your life, for example, to work. Oh, no, not work, but towards, for example, time or money or energy. And then write down what is present for you now when manifesting purpose, work, or career. If that's something that you are going through, what that would look like, what's the manifestation, what's the end of that, what's the outcome, the vision of that. And also write down about your free time. This is like the energy that you have in your day, if that one part is for your work and the other part is for your life or for your free time, for your social life, for your own energy, write down about that. So you, others, work, and then free time. If these 4 pillars are in balance, we can feel that there is like stability in our life. If one place, for example, we feel connected to ourselves, we feel connected to our nearest relationships, we feel connected to our work, but we might not, for example, sleep great, or we might not eat great, or we might not exercise how we would like to. This could be the free time. Everything starts to lean towards that one end that it's not like fully in power. And so you can visualize this like a house that has 4 corners. And if one corner is kind of getting rusty, the whole house starts to fall into that side. And that's why when we start to bring all these 4 elements into balance, you can start to realize, like, okay, maybe I need to bring more attention now towards that free time. For example, downtime, relaxation times. Or if it's your work that it's not there where you would like it to be, then to bring more attention to what that could look like then. Or if that's your own relationship or the relationships around you. Okay, and then I want to share you another one. Where it is journaling. So more journaling. You received, those of you who send me who were signing in through the link, you receive the 15 journaling questions. You can still sign in through the link to receive that welcoming gift. But here is for all of you a journaling questions, and these are about awakening that inner magic, inner connection, inner alchemist. And basically, these are big questions. You can freely write. Think about that this is more for yourself. And then if you want to share something in a group, I would love that. And you can take a picture of your writing, or you can write down just bullet points, some ideas, something that really pops into what you realized from these questions, something that you really learned, what's your takeaway, and write down that in a group. And I'm a big fan of journaling. I do myself a journaling every time I feel I'm disconnected to something or something in me or to something in life. I process most naturally by writing. So that's something very dear practice to me, and I invite that to everyone. If journaling is your thing, you will start to know it. But that's what I have for you today. This I will send now to the group, and then there will be also the task. It's a yellow, this kind of same picture. If you want to share, and when you share the task you like or love each of these live, and you comment each live, you can win a 30 minutes growth coaching session with me, and we will focus mainly only about your growth. So I will coach with the different tools that I have you, for example, to maneuver something tricky in your growth process, or something that you feel like you are not getting over it, or something comes stagnant. So many times it can happen quickly, the solution, when it comes through the alignment. That's it. That's what I have for you to share. I think I'm hot from my cheek. I'm sweat from my shirt, and I was like, okay, I hope I made sense. I hope I resonated. If not, that's okay too. I'm here to share what I love, and I'm looking forward to see your implementing these tasks now, and just sharing them to a group, being unapologetically proud of the process that you are now, and kind of saying like, yeah, I want this in my life. And that's the thing, like starting to talk about it to the others, it will get stronger and more clear also. and the willingness steps in. So I hope there was something for you, and trusting there was something for you from this life that really changed. And I see you tomorrow morning again at 11. Tomorrow we will talk about what happens when manifestation doesn't work, something to look in that. And I'm, as I said, I'm really honored to be here. So make the future awesome, darling. Have a beautiful Monday, and see you in a group. Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.